Of Pronghorn Productions TV. This season we've got some new exciting things going on, and one of the new things is our title sponsor, and that's Stokes Archery out of Waunakee, Wisconsin. I'm here with Paul Stokes, owner and operator of Stokes Archery. And Paul, thanks for joining us this year.
Thank you.
Now Paul, what sets Stokes Archery apart from other pro shops in the area?
Well, at Stokes Archery, our tagline is we can match their prices, but they can't match our service. And coming up with a competitive price is the easy part. The hard part is following through with quality service for everyone. And whether you're spending a bunch of money on a top-end bow all decked out, or if you just need a basic service or an accessory, we try to give every customer that walks through the door the pro shop service that they deserve.
And that's great. You know, you can't go to a box store and get that kind of service. And what's one of the things you offer for buying an accessory?
Well, if you buy your accessory here, not only are you going to pay the same as some of these other box stores, or less in some cases,
sure,
but we're going to install that product for free.
For free.
Yeah.
And that's great. That's a great service to have.
And in the case of a rest, you can't install it properly without tuning it. So you're basically getting your rest installed and your bow tuned, all just for the standard cost of the rest.
Yeah, hey, that's great. And tuning is one of the things, one of the services you offer here at Stokes Archery, correct?
Yeah, we offer a full range of archery services. We do full tunes, we do string replacements, and paper tunes. Every bow that leaves our store, we want to make sure, whether it's a 15-year-old bow that a guy just can't let go, or if it's that brand new bow off the shelf, every bow that leaves the door, we want to be shooting as efficient and fast and the best that bow can shoot.
And that's one of the things about paper tuning, without getting into the logistics of everything, but paper tuning and grouping are two different things. Your bow can group arrows in a tight spot, at 20 yards or 30 yards like this, but it doesn't necessarily mean that arrow is flying straight to the target.
That's right. And if it's getting to that same spot like this, it's losing a lot of energy, you're losing speed, therefore you may be sacrificing penetration and could be detriment to your hunt.
Yeah, yeah. And that's one of your things that you want for bows going out the door, is you want every bow that leaves this shop to be shooting as efficiently as it possibly can.
That's right, that's right.
Now, one of the other new things that we've got going on this season, as we had last season, we had Feature of the Week, which was products and services that I used and believed in. Now, this season, we've got a little twist to that. And Paul, why don't you tell the folks a little bit about the twist we have on it?
Well, we're taking products that both Chris and I truly believe in, products that work. And we're demonstrating them, we're showing you how they work, how to use them in the field, the features and benefits. And then the great part is we're offering a special on that particular product the following week after the show.
And not just at Stokes Archery in Waunakee, right, but we're offering any dealer that carries that product or has that service to offer that special as well, which I think is a really great idea. It's an idea Paul came up with. And how that benefits you, the viewer, is, let's say you're up in Ashland, Wisconsin watching the show and you're thinking, well, how is this going to benefit me? I'm way up north, 5.5 hours away from Waunakee, Wisconsin. This isn't going to do me a whole lot of good. But if there's a dealer in your area that's participating on the special, you can walk in and get the same special that you're going to get down here at Stokes.
That's right. It's a great opportunity to get a great deal on a great product.
Yeah, yeah. And like we've said before, and like I've said in the past, these are all tried and true products that I've used, believed in, that Paul's used and believed in. We're not going to steer you wrong. We're not going to sell you snake oil that's not going to work. So trust that anything we're featuring on the show is going to be a tried and true product that we've tested out and that we believe in, and that's going to work well for you. So on to the first show here. In this first show, we're going to have some postseason deer scouting. We're going to join Dan Infalt on our private property, and he's going to take us through and show us some unique scouting tactics, bedding areas for big bucks, how to locate those bedding areas, how to locate the doe bedding areas. So let's get to that right now. So Dan, what are you going to show us today as we go out scouting in the woods?
Here we're going to take a look at your hunting property here, and we're going to take a look at some of the buck bedding areas you have on your property. And I'll show you where I feel that the bucks are bedding and how to go about hunting those bucks.
Great, great. So come on along, let's go do some scouting.
This segment is brought to you by Town & Country Insurance, serving all of Wisconsin for 30 years.
Okay, we're just scouting the bedding area behind the camera. There's a point that comes out, and you can see where the big bucks are bedding around that point. Well, we follow the trail out of there, and it comes along the edge of the drop, and comes into here and heads out towards the fields. And right here we got a fork in the trail. And this is about where we want to set up, about as close as we can get without spooking the deer out of the bedding area back there. And we've got one trail that eases up this way and one trail that eases down behind me here. And we want to cover it right in here, so we're looking for trees and thinking about how the wind's going to be when we come in here and hunt. And we get in here and right away we see a nice tree over here, and it's got a good cover, and we can set up in that tree. But if we get this wind that's just easing down these trails, we won't be able to sit that tree. So we're looking at two setups. So we can sit that tree, you know, if the wind's cruising down the hill or blowing up the hill. But we're going to have to sit that side if the wind's blowing back this way. So we have a tree picked out down here. So really the key is to be mobile. Some of these setups will have you know, 4 or 5 trees picked out based on a wind or whatever, because if we don't have the wind kind of blowing this way, those deer aren't going to be bedded over the top of those ridges, at least those big bucks, because they're bedding there because of that wind flow over those hills. So we have to actually play the wind. And when I say play the wind, I don't mean hunt with the wind blowing in your face. It means the deer have to have the right wind where they feel confident. And we have to pick a tree that plays the wind direction to our advantage, so the deer are still walking into the wind, and we can still kill them. So we have to have multiple trees picked out.
Get ready for the season at Stoke Sports. Get stoked. You know that the right equipment installed properly can make all the difference in the success of your hunt. You've thought about going to those big box stores, but you're looking for a better archery buying experience. Get stoked. All bows and accessories are set up free, paper-tuned, and come with a lifetime annual checkup. Get ready for the season at Stoke Sports in the Wanakee Village Mall at the corner of Highway 19 and County Road Q. Get stoked.
Pronghorn Productions, capturing your once-in-a-lifetime memories.
Whether it's turkey hunting in the Wisconsin woods or fishing the wilds of our country's beautiful lakes and rivers, have us capture those moments on tape and edit them into a wonderful keepsake DVD for you to share these once-in-a-lifetime events with friends and family. Have a special hunting or fishing trip planned? Consider us for capturing your event to keep those memories alive for a lifetime. Pronghorn Productions offers professional videography and editing services for all of your outdoor needs.
So, for the best video and editing, call my dad at 438-7250.
Or visit our website at www.pronghornproductions.net.
Great hunts demand great optics. Vortex delivers crystal clear, high-quality optics at affordable prices with an unwavering dedication to quality, value, and superior performance in the field. Vortex Optics, built to the highest standards, durable, waterproof, fog-proof, backed by an unbeatable no-fault lifetime warranty. When it counts most, there is no second shot. You need the highest performance, guaranteed. Vortex, the force of optics. Go to vortexoptics.com.
Congratulations, you bagged your trophy. For quality workmanship at a fair price and prompt service to preserve that trophy, call Gatsky Taxidermy. You whack them, stack them, and pack them, and I'll plaque them. Gatsky Taxidermy, 920-648-3890.
All right, we're looking at these points, looking for bedding areas, and this one's kind of obvious. There's a little point here that comes out on the ridge that just juts out, just a little tiny point, and it just screamed buck bedding area. So we come up here, and there's a couple of big beds here. There's a couple, there's an old rub right in the beds, and there's a real big fresh rub just outside of them. So what I like to do is, you see these beds, now we know exactly where this buck is bedding, and that's key. If you learn where these bucks are bedding, you know the whole system. You know how he's living on this land. It's a lot easier to hunt him. So I see he's got a bed here, a bed here, a bed over here, and another one up here and over there, and I'm thinking that he's bedding in different directions based on the wind and sight factor. The key to hunting him is he's only going to go so far from this bed in daylight. So what I want to do is look at it from his point of view. That's the best part about finding these beds. So I'll come over here and I'll get right down on this bed, and I'll sit just like he is. He's facing this way. I can see where he's at. He's got the wind blowing over his back here, so he can smell anything up on the hill. He's got the thermal coming up, and he's sitting here at this level, and my gosh, I can see the whole valley. So any hunter walking in this valley, in this lane, is going to get spotted, and he's just going to slip out, and he can smell you coming from behind. If you get right down under here, he's going to get that thermal. So what I'll do is I'll just sit here and I'll concentrate on this. Okay, what can he see all the way around here? And now that I know, what I'll do is I'll follow this trail right out of here, because he's dropping down into that sight level. I can see his trail go down, and we'll go to right where we can't see no more, and maybe just a little bit past there, and that's where we're going to put a stand. And then when he starts bedding this fall, we'll start checking these food plots and fields around here. And when we see the big tracks heading in and out of here from a good ways away, so we're not spooking them, that's the time to move in and set up right down there. When we got that wind coming in the way that we know he beds here, we're going to have some sort of direction from this way, or that way to get him to lay up here. So let's bring the camera over here right now and put it in the bed and look at what he's seeing. So the camera right now is actually in the bed, and we're panning what the deer is looking at. And I can see tracks coming right up this hill, right from down to the bottom into the bed. And a lot of times that's how they avoid predators. They'll actually, even if they're on the top, I've seen them, they'll swing all the way around to the bottom and then come up with the wind in their face to the bed. And if a coyote or something tracks them to the bed, they'll see that coyote long before it gets to them. I can see his trail coming out. There's some tracks coming up here and over here, but his main trail drops down to the side here and heads straight down in this valley and follows that swale right out of sight down here. So if you look down here where you stop seeing white, where you can't see the snow no more, 10 yards further back is where I'm setting up. This deer is killable.
This segment is brought to you by Stealth Outdoors, creator of the bark silencer. It keeps you quiet before the shot. Now let's talk a little bit about rubs and how they play in the buck bedding areas.
Okay, we're not even 10 yards from the buck's bedding area, and here's a nice big rub, nice scarring. There's not heavy rub lines coming in here. There's not big trails of rubs all over the place. There's just a few rubs around the bed, and you're going to find that these deer, when they get to be 4 or 5 years old, they don't rub as much as what people think. When you're finding these rubs all over the place, that's usually 2.5 and 3.5 year old deer. The older ones stop rubbing so much, but you'll find those rubs right in the beds. We'll find 1 or 2 almost always, but that's just it, just 1 or 2 good rubs in those beds. You look too at the height of this, and those younger deer, the 1.5 usually are rubbing the center of the rub will be down here, the 2.5's down here. This is probably a 3.5 year old buck, maybe 4.5 that did this. The height is more of a key than the diameter. I've actually seen spike bucks rub trees this big around, but they're always low with the younger deer.
Now this is a good view of the ridge that buck is using to bed. This is the trail he's using to access his bedding area, and it runs right down here to the flat. And now we're going to go to the edge of his sight vision to set up our stand.
Okay, so here's where the buck's walking, and you can see right here's where his vision's going to stop, where he can't see us anymore. So we're going to go about 20 or 30 yards past there, and that's where we're going to set up. So we'll sneak right into just outside of his vision. So this vision area is really his safe zone. He feels safe here. He's been watching it all day. He doesn't think there's a problem in here. He's going to slip down here and mill around down here and then stage just out of sight, and that's where we're going to be waiting. Another great thing about learning all these buck bedding areas and even the doe bedding areas is so that you know how to travel your land without disturbing those deer. Because once you have that mapped out where all the bucks are bedding, where all the does are bedding, and you can see that on paper, you know how you can travel that land to hunt it or to scout it or whatever towards season where you're not disturbing those animals.
Pronghorn Productions, capturing your once-in-a-lifetime memories.
Whether it's turkey hunting in the Wisconsin woods or fishing the wilds of our country's beautiful lakes and rivers, have us capture those moments on tape and edit them into a wonderful keepsake DVD for you to share these once-in-a-lifetime events with friends and family. Have a special hunting or fishing trip planned? Consider us for capturing your event to keep those memories alive for a lifetime. Pronghorn Productions offers professional videography and editing services for all of your outdoor needs.
So, for the best video and editing, call my dad at 438-7250.
Or visit our website at www.pronghornproductions.net.
Great hunts demand great optics. Vortex delivers crystal clear, high-quality optics at affordable prices with an unwavering dedication to quality, value, and superior performance in the field. Vortex Optics, built to the highest standards, durable, waterproof, fog-proof, backed by an unbeatable no-fault lifetime warranty. When it counts most, there is no second shot. You need the highest performance, guaranteed. Vortex, the force of optics. Go to vortexoptics.com.
Get ready for the season at Stoke Sports.
Get stoked.
You know that the right equipment installed properly can make all the difference in the success of your hunt. You've thought about going to those big box stores, but you're looking for a better archery buying experience.
Get stoked.
All bows and accessories are set up free, paper-tuned, and come with a lifetime annual checkup. Get ready for the season at Stoke Sports in the Wanakee Village Mall at the corner of Highway 19 and County Road Q.
Get stoked.
It's the perfect way to commemorate your achievement. Whether in the woods or on the water, a custom field portrait from what'dyaget.com captures that unforgettable moment. Simply give us your photo and have it transformed into a variety of unique trophy displays customized with your information. Visit us online today at www.what'dyaget.com to learn more. This segment is brought to you by Dagaboy Safaris. Hunt the Dark Continent and live your dream.
Okay, right now I'm standing right in that thermal swirl where we got that uprise and the normal wind current coming over, and this is where the swirl is, right where I'm standing. And we've got a tree here that's been felled right at that swirl height, just above it, and that creates a bedding area right below it for a buck. And the buck is using it. There's hair in the bed. You can see where he's laying here with the tree to his back, and what he wants is he wants a little cover behind him, which otherwise this ridge is pretty open. So now he's got the cover behind him and he can see this whole bottom. So a guy can actually create a buck bedding area just by coming just off of the top, just over the top to where these bucks travel, fall on a tree so it goes crosswise with the hill, and letting that buck come up and find a spot to bed right underneath it. So that buck's going to be bedding here when that wind's coming over the top, right over the tree, and he's going to be able to wind anything behind that tree. That's why he doesn't have to see back there. But he's going to watch this whole valley below him, and he's also going to have that thermal wind coming out.
So you've shown us how to scout out for buck bedding areas. Now what else? What other kind of scouting would you recommend that we do in the off season as far as bedding areas go?
Well, finding the doe bedding areas wouldn't be a bad idea too. That'll help you out there in the rut, and it'll also help you keep from bumping deer moving in on your bucks.
Sure, that makes a lot of sense because you're going to want to know where that bedding area is so you can know how to approach that buck bedding area, correct? So you're not busting those does up. Well, come on along, let's go see some doe bedding areas.
All right. What we got here is more of a rolling point, and the bucks seem to tend to bed just over the top, but the does will bed up top higher where it's more flat. And we got some doe tracks here. We'll just follow them back and see where they go and see if we can find the doe bedding area. And I'd be willing to bet it's a little higher elevation than the bucks. Following these tracks in, you could really see how the deer access this area. So that's kind of cool about the snow is now we know exactly how the does access these bedding areas. Here's a bed right here, and I can see several up in front of me. And what these deer do is you can see how this deer was laying in this direction. When we get over there, those deer are going to be laying in the different directions. And when the does come in, they usually come in groups, and they'll sit up on the top where the bucks usually bed just over the top. And these does will watch all the way around them for people coming in, or other predators like coyotes and such, but they like to bed in those circles. So this doe bed is the farthest in this end of the circle of beds, and you can see where the front legs were right here, facing this direction, watching for danger over here. So let's take a look at some of the rest of them. This bed's a little bit melted out, but it appears as the deer was bedded this direction and watching that way, which is what I would expect. There should be one behind us somewhere looking the other direction, which is right here. And this one, I can see where the front legs were sitting right here, looking straight out this way. So I've actually watched them do this from the tree, and you'll see the deer come in a group and it's just kind of dispersed, and it's like they each know their spot. One will lay here, one will lay here, and one will lay over here. The trouble is when you get a buck bedding below there, getting through these things to hunt them.
Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, why are we walking through a bedding area? We were always taught not to go near bedding areas. Well, this is the off-season. Any deer we spook out are going to be back within a week's time, and we're not really concerned about laying down scent right now because it is the off-season, and it's not going to bother the deer to the point they're not going to come back.
Okay, so you got your doe bedding area up here, and these deer have this covered pretty well, so if you came in here, they'd scatter out of here. And say you got a buck that's bedding off at the top of this point. Now, how are you going to access that buck to hunt them if you got the does bedding up here? Well, the way you do that is to go around the point and hunt off the side hills, because those bucks will follow that elevation when they first come off of the bed. So you got to know the direction that the buck wants to go, whether it's whether there's food sources up here or back there, and cut it off for the elevation that the bed's at. So now the other key to this doe bedding area is how bucks are going to react to this during the rut. And what I found is they cruise either the downwind side or the axis size when they're out cruising. But that's what they're doing when they're cruising. They're going from doe bedding area to doe bedding area. They don't necessarily go through them. They either wind them from the downwind side, or they cut the access trails and smell to see if any of the does that came into bed are in heat. And getting adjacent to a doe bedding area on one of those travel routes is the key.
Get ready for the season at Stoke Sports. Get stoked. You know that the right equipment installed properly can make all the difference in the success of your hunt. You've thought about going to those big box stores, but you're looking for a better archery buying experience.
Get stoked.
All bows and accessories are set up free, paper-tuned, and come with a lifetime annual checkup. Get ready for the season at Stoke Sports in the Wanakee Village Mall at the corner of Highway 19 and County Road Q.
Get stoked.
Congratulations, you bagged your trophy. For quality workmanship at a fair price and prompt service to preserve that trophy, call Gatsky Taxidermy. You whack them, stack them, and pack them, and I'll plaque them. Gatsky Taxidermy, 920-648-3890.
Well, folks, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this week's show. Tune in next week when we're going to join trout fishing guide Len Harris of Richland County. He's going to take us out to Crawford County for some small stream brook trout and brown trout fishing. We're going to have both spin fishing and fly fishing. Proves to be an exciting show. And the neat thing about that show is we taped this show about 3 weeks ago during the early season, catch and release season in 2009, so it's current. It was shot just a couple weeks ago. You're seeing it basically in real time. So you'll know that some of these streams that we were hitting where we were catching fish, if you can find the streams, you can catch just as many fish. And we're not going to necessarily tell you where these streams are. We're going to tell you the county, and you'll have to find out for yourself. But until next time, take a youngster in the outdoors and pass on our hunting and fishing traditions to the next generation. I'm Chris Kittleson. We'll see you next week.
At this time, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Stokes Archery of Wanakee, Wisconsin, Stealth Outdoors, creator of the Bark Silencer, Dagaboy Safaris, Hunt the Dark Continent of Africa, Town & Country Insurance Services, serving Wisconsin for 30 years, and Vortex Optics. Vortex, the force of optics. Don't miss the blooper coming up right after the credits.
We're gonna have a lot of on the show.
What kind of turkey? Deer?
We'll have some turkey. Not so much deer. Maybe we'll have a little bit of deer. More.
Deer
seen.
tastes better than the turkey.
Yeah, I've heard that about it. It tastes kind of like those milk duds.
Turkey tastes kind of like bald eagle.
Email your comments or questions to pronghornproductionstv@yahoo.com. I look forward to hearing your insights. Get your copy of Pronghorn Productions TV, the best of Season 1, only at pronghornproductions.net.